welcome to Live Parkinson's Live an Exceptional Life. I'm your host, Chris Custenbotter, and I've been living an exceptional life with Parkinson's for the past 15 years. The mission of this podcast is to help as many people as possible living with Parkinson's to lead a great quality of life. Now, today we're diving into something that touches every single one of us living with Parkinson's. Now, I want you to picture this. You walk into the kitchen with a purpose, then you're standing there wondering what in the world you came in there for. Or, if you're like me, you're in mid-conversation and that perfect word, the one that's right on the tip of your tongue, just vanishes into thin air. Or maybe you start a task and find yourself getting overwhelmed with all the steps that are involved. Does it sound familiar? The other day was someone who was concerned with their memory. Now, here's the thing. These moments can be frustrating for anyone, but with Parkinson's, they can be particularly upsetting. Make us wonder, is this just normal aging, or is it something more? And most importantly, is there anything we do about it? Today, we're talking about brain training, but not the kind you might think. Forget everything you know about those colorful apps promising to make you smarter in about 10 minutes a day. No, we're going to go a lot deeper than that. The truth is, cognitive changes affect up to 80% of people with Parkinson's at some point in their Parkinson's journey. But here's what's revolutionary and what the medical community is finally embracing, that these changes are not set in stone. Your brain is far more adaptable than what we once believed. Today, we're going to be exploring what real brain training looks like, what cutting-edge research tells us, and most importantly, how you can start building a stronger, more resilient mind right now. We'll discover why movement might be your brain's best friend, your BFF, if you will, and why the most effective cognitive training might happen in your living room, not on your smartphone. So let's talk about the science of brain training in layman's terms, of course. So let's start with the fundamentals. So what exactly is brain training when we're talking about Parkinson's? Well, most people think brain training means Sudoku puzzles or memory games. And while these are certainly part of the picture, real brain training for Parkinson's is much more comprehensive. It's about engaging in novel, challenging activities that force your brain to create new neural pathways and strengthening existing ones. Now, this is where the science gets exciting. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. Its remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. So think of it like this. If one road in your brain gets damaged or blocked, neuroplasticity allows your brain to build new roads, even detours, to get where you want it to go. Now, for those of us with Parkinson's, this isn't just hopeful thinking. It's documented science. Brains can compensate, adapt, and even improve function in areas that have been affected by the disease. Now, let me share with you some recent research that completely changed how I think about cognitive training. There was a groundbreaking study published in Neurology in 2014 by Zimmerman and colleagues titled Cognitive Training in Parkinson's Disease, Cognition Specific versus Non-Specific Computer Training. So here's what they did. They took participants with Parkinson's and they divided them into two groups. One group did the traditional computerized cognitive training, the targeted brain games designed specifically to improve your attention and memory. The other group played motion-controlled video games on Nintendo Wii. Now, guess what happened? Well, the Nintendo Wii group, so the people who were boxing, bowling, and playing tennis on their gaming system, showed improvements in attention that were just as good as the group doing the specific cognitive training. Now, think about that for a moment. People having fun playing active video games improved their cognitive function just as much as people doing targeted brain training exercises. So this finding points to something profound, that there's a powerful connection between physical movement and cognitive function. So when you're playing these motion control games, your brain just isn't processing the game. It's also coordinating your movement, planning strategies, reacting to visual cues, and helping you maintain your balance all at the same time. It's like a full body workout for your brain. And then this aligns with the broader concept in neuroscience called enrichment movements. Now, research shows that environments rich in social interaction, physical activity, and learning opportunities promote neuroplasticity and cognitive health. There was a comprehensive review that was published in PLOS 1 in 2018, and they examined 9 randomized controlled trials looking at physical exercise and cognitive function in people with Parkinson's. Now, the authors, Lamont and colleagues, found that physical exercise programs consistently improved various aspects of cognitive function, particularly executive function, and that's our ability to plan, organize, and make decisions. Now, but here's what's even more exciting. A more recent meta-analysis published in 2023 in the journal Parkinson's and Related Disorders looked at 23 studies involving over 1,200 people with Parkinson's. And the researchers found that physical exercise interventions led to significant improvements in global cognitive function, with particularly strong benefits for executive function and processing speed. So this message is clear. When we move our bodies, we also train our brains. All right, now let's turn our attention to some practical strategies for brain training. So now that we understand the science, let's put this in practical terms and talk about what this means for your everyday life. Now, the most effective brain training happens when you step away from the screen, and that's whether it's your computer, your laptop, your tablet, or your phone, and you engage in the real world. Now, don't get me wrong. Some apps and computer programs can be useful tools, but if you're looking for the biggest bang for your buck, the most powerful cognitive training often involves activities that are going to challenge multiple systems in your brain simultaneously. All right, think of your brain like a muscle. Now, if you only do bicep curls, you have strong biceps, but everything else is weak. So the most effective brain training works multiple cognitive muscles at the same time. So you want to focus on attention, memory, processing speed, executive function, and spatial awareness. All right, so let me give you a menu of some brain building activities that you can start today. Number 1 is learning something new. Now, this is one of the most powerful things you can do for your brain. When you learn a new language, you pick up a musical instrument and learn how to play, or you master a new card game, you're forcing your brain to create entirely new neural pathways. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I do have ESPN after all. I'm not good at learning new things anymore. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to become fluent in Spanish or be able to play an instrument at Carnegie Hall or in front of a large sold-out stadium crowd. Just the act of learning itself is what makes even spending 15 minutes a day on a language app or picking out and playing simple melodies on a keyboard or learning the rules of bridge is going to give your brain a powerful workout. All right, now next at number 2 on our list is creative pursuits. And that would include things like painting, writing, cooking new recipes. These activities are cognitive gold mines because they engage multiple brain regions simultaneously. So when you're cooking a new dish, you're following sequences. There's different timing elements involved, when you're supposed to add ingredients, when you're supposed to put it in the oven, and then you're also using spatial reasoning and engaging your senses. So when you're painting, you're processing visual information, you're planning your compositions, and you're making countless small decisions about the color and the forms that you want to use. The key here is novelty. So if you've been making the same pasta dish for 20 years, that's not brain training, that's routine. But if you challenge yourself to cook dishes from a different culture, or for instance, try watercolors when you've only used pencils, you're giving your brain new problems to solve. All right, now let's take a look at the mind-body connection. Remember that study that we discussed? You do? Oh, good. See, our brain training is working. Activities that combine physical movement with cognitive challenges are incredibly powerful. And Tai Chi is perfect for this because you're learning complex movement sequences while at the same time maintaining balance and often following along with a group. Dance classes work in the same way. You're processing rhythm, remembering steps, coordinating with a partner, and you're moving through space. And then boxing classes designed for Parkinson's, like Rocksteady Boxing, are fantastic examples of this principle. You're not just standing there throwing punches. You're reacting to combinations called out by the instructor. You're coordinating your hands with your feet, and you're processing visual and auditory cues very rapidly. All right, so now let's look at another concept for training your brain, and that's task sequencing in your daily life. And it's something you can do right now without adding a single activity to your day, because I know everybody's day is busy and people are thinking, I don't have time for this. So you can do this without adding any additional activities to your day. Now, I know this is going to sound a little quirky, but if you don't mind talking to yourself, which I do all the time, then start talking through your daily tasks. Wait, what are you even talking about? Okay, let's give you an example. Let's say you're making your morning coffee. So begin to verbalize each step in the process. You tell yourself, first, I'm filling the water reservoir. Now I'm measuring the coffee grounds. Next, I'm setting the timer. Now I'm hitting the power button. Okay, now I'm getting my coffee cup ready with some creamer. You get the point. Just talk yourself through each step of the process on some of your daily tasks. So you may be thinking, Chris, that sounds ridiculous. People think I'm crazy. And I say, welcome to the club. People think I'm crazy all the time. Now, I know you're probably asking yourself, why in the world would I talk through each step of something I'm doing every day? Well, it might sound simple, but you're engaging your executive function, the cognitive skill that helps with planning and organization. So, for people with Parkinson's, executive function is often the first areas affected. So, giving it regular exercise is going to be crucial. All right, now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention, and that's meaningful social interaction. And that's one of the most powerful cognitive exercises available. So, when you're having a genuine conversation, your brain is working incredibly hard, believe it or not. You're processing what the other people are saying, you're accessing your own memories and your knowledge, formulating responses, you're reading social cues, and then you're managing the back and forth of the dialogue that's going on. So, how can we become more social? Well, you can join a book club, attend a support group, or simply make it a point to have a real conversation with someone every day. Don't underestimate the cognitive workout that you're going to get from that. It's very beneficial. Now, here's something crucial, and I've stressed this on my other podcast. Consistency trumps intensity every single time. Let me say that again. Consistency trumps intensity every single time. So it's better to do 15 minutes of cognitive challenges every day than to sit and do 3 hours once a week, because your brain responds to regular, repeated stimulation. Also, and this is very important, please choose activities that you genuinely enjoy doing. If you hate puzzles, don't force yourself to do Sudoku because you think it's good for you. Find activities that are going to bring you joy and something that you really like, because these are the things that you're going to stick with. And if you stick with them, then you do them on a consistent basis. All right, now let's try putting all this together. Now, let me paint you a picture of what effective brain training might look like in real life. So, on Monday, you might start your day listening to a podcast in a language you're learning while you go for a walk. That's physical activity plus new learning. On Tuesday, you join that Tai Chi class you've been thinking about, and that's mind and body connection. Wednesday, you spend some time writing in a journal about your experience with Parkinson's. That is creative expression plus reflection. Thursday, you cook a recipe from a cuisine you have never tried before. That's sequencing, timing, and novelty all in one. And then on Friday, you meet a friend for coffee and have a meaningful conversation about something that interests both of you, and that's social cognition. Notice what's happening here? Every single day includes some form of cognitive challenge, but none of it feels like some kind of medical treatment. It feels like you're living day to day because that's what it is. And research from the journal Translational Neurodegeneration published a systematic review in 2014 that looked at exercise and cognition in Parkinson's. The authors Murray and colleagues found that the most effective interactions were those that combined aerobic exercise with cognitive challenging tasks. So this supports exactly what we've been talking about, trying to do get multiple benefits out of one exercise or one task. Now, the power of activities that challenge both your body and your mind simultaneously. Remember, you're not trying to slow the decline. We're actively building cognitive reserve. That's your brain's ability to maintain function even when you're faced with challenges that Parkinson's presents. All right, so as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with a sense of empowerment. You have far more control over your cognitive health than you might have thought when you first tuned in today. So let's recap the key points. Cognitive changes in Parkinson's are common, but they're not inevitable or unchangeable. So let me say that one again because that's important. Cognitive changes in Parkinson's are common, but they're not inevitable or unchangeable. And brain training is about much more than just doing apps and puzzles. It's a holistic approach to keeping your mind sharp and resilient. And the most effective strategies are going to combine physical movement with cognitive challenge. They involve learning new things, and they happen consistently over time. And that's the key word there, consistently. And the research is clear. Activities that engage multiple cognitive systems simultaneously, like Tai Chi, learning new skills, creative pursuits like art, music, and dance, and meaningful social interactions can help maintain and even improve cognitive function. And most importantly, the best brain training is the kind you enjoy because that's the kind you're actually going to do. Now, before you go, I want to make sure that you have access to all the resources and help that you need on your journey. So please visit liveparkinsons.com, where you can find lots of free, valuable resources designed specifically for people living with Parkinson's and that I use myself. So when you visit the website, you can subscribe to the free monthly newsletter to get the latest insights and inspirations delivered directly to your inbox. So you never miss important updates. And I promise I'll only send you information that's truly going to make a difference in your life. I'm not going to be spamming you because I don't like that myself. And you'll also find free resources, including my 9 balance exercises to improve balance with Parkinson's, because as we learned today, physical stability and cognitive health go hand in hand. Now, there's also a comprehensive medication and symptom tracker that you and your healthcare team can help you better understand some of your unique patterns and needs, because it's going to help point out times of the day when you're having off periods, and that way the doctor might be able to adjust your medication. So these resources are my gift to you because I believe that knowledge and practical tools should be accessible to anyone who needs them. So if you found the information I provide helpful and want to support the mission to help people living an exceptional quality of life with Parkinson's, I invite you to visit my Ko-fi page at kofi.com/liveparkinsons, and I'll leave a link in the podcast description. Your generosity helps me continue producing content that empowers and informs our community. Every contribution, no matter the size, makes a difference in my ability to reach more people who need this information. So, thank you for spending time with me today. Remember, living an exceptional life with Parkinson's isn't about perfect. It's about being present, being proactive, and being your own best advocate. So until next time, keep training that brilliant brain of yours. Take care and stay healthy, stay strong, and live your best life with Parkinson's. And remember, you've got this. See you next time, and thanks for listening.